Hi, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from RicoScores, and I think it's a good time to set aside some time to look at some fun and really fire Washington Commanders stadium concepts and designs. Now, a lot of these are AI generated, and some of them are just beyond the realm of being realistic, but I still think it's going to be fun to look at a lot of these. And then some of these, especially the ones towards the end, are some designs that came from like the Commanders themselves or some people that helped the Commanders out or whatever. But we only know a couple of these exist because of the Commanders. So we're going to take a look at all of these random new stadium designs that the Commanders could end up getting. Again, just to go ahead and give you the fair warning that some of these are AI generated, especially the ones that we're going to be looking at from the beginning to the middle. A lot of those are AI generated, so we're going to try to find what's realistic, what we like from each thing, and going to overall decide that even if some of these were somehow possible, whether we want to keep them or not. And of course, I want y'all to participate as well. Get in the comment section and let me know which designs you like the best too. But before we dive into all of that, make sure you stiff arm that like button, stiff arm the subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one, or random really fun concept videos like this too, because like I said, man, I'm coming with the content daily, so make sure you stay tuned. I have so many videos that I'm working on, so many ideas, and every time new information comes out, it just sets everything else further back. So I'm gonna make sure y'all stay tuned, because y'all know me, man, the draft god, the draft guru. We're gonna get to this team building stuff right now. Eugene Shin is gonna be my best friend, so I'm super excited. And make sure y'all support the channel any way that you can, because liking the videos and streams are free. But if you want to donate, we got the super chat back. You can become a channel member. Again, you're gonna get exclusive videos. I'm working some exclusive videos for y'all as well, so make sure y'all stay tuned. Without further ado, man, let's get it.
He's our quarterback for the 5-10 years, and I truly believe that.
All right, so first of all, here's a fairly realistic AI generated concept. We're gonna later on get to some like, what is that? There's no way that's even possible. Some of them look like dystopias, like it looks like post-Armageddon type of stuff, some cyberpunk level stuff. But for right now, I like this concept a lot, man. I really do. I think this is a pretty interesting concept. I think it's a very realistic concept. I mean, I like in one of the pictures how you have all the DC stuff in the background. You clearly know who this is for. I like how the stadium is open. I like how you have like the buildings around. It looks like that maybe you could do something with that. Like maybe I mean, again, the pictures are kind of different, but they're all kind of the same concept, because some of the pictures have like these updated gentrified apartments or maybe even some stores around it. Some of them just have just straight up regular like housing and stuff like that. But I think either way you look at it is pretty cool. They even have like a river with a moat, because the Commanders did mention something of like trying to do experiment with some type of moat or something like that. But one of my main problems with this set of pictures for this concept, from the different like designs and stuff, kind of the same general concept, but this all came from the same source. I guess these are like 4 different AI generated things with the same general idea based on them. I'm not seeing any parking, man. Where are people supposed to park here, man? It's about to be jammed up if we actually did this. Especially the picture where the one you can clearly see the river and the houses right under it and stuff like that. This is a really cool concept. It looks really fun, but you would just have to figure out where the parking is gonna go. Of course, I'm hoping that the next stadium definitely has some type of retractable roof design to it. And it sounded like with you know, Jason Wright and guys were looking at, we still don't exactly know with Josh Harris yet, but they were exploring ideas of a retractable roof. They even like toured the Falcon Stadium, which is the stadium I love going to. The Falcon Stadium is beautiful, man. They have that cam where they're always like above, they have an above ground view of exactly what's going on. So when they show the replays, they'll show it in slow motion sometimes, and it'll be like this aerial directly above, as if you were just floating above, directly above the players, like 10 feet high. watching the play from that view. I love it. They're just so creative. The food is extremely cheap. You can go there and get an entire meal and leave full for less than $20, which is unheard of in NFL stadiums. And then, most importantly, the part that I'm talking about, the retractable roof. So if it's perfectly fine, like in the 70s, sunny and everything like that, they'll leave the roof open and you'll have fresh air. But if there's any sort of inclement weather, if it's even a little rainy, a little breezy, they will close that roof and it will have perfect conditions inside the stadium. So I really hope we end up with that. I love this design for a lot of reasons, but it is missing the retractable roof. And anything that doesn't have a retractable roof is not getting a sign off on me personally. But I do like a lot of different concepts. So first of all, just how DC it is. You can tell this is a very AI generated thing because they did everything they could to make it DC, but also a little futuristic on top of that. So it's like a little bit in the future, but a lot of DC stuff showing you all of the different DC skyline things and stuff like that. I like it. I like the picture itself more than I actually like the stadium design itself, which is pretty interesting. Now, next up, we have this pretty interesting design where they have it like the stadium looking like if they're just truly embracing the whole Commanders thing, and it looks like a Roman Colosseum building where we go to war, trying to basically feed into the whole Commanders thing, the Sparta 300, all that type of stuff. That whole aesthetic is pretty interesting. Also, you could look at it in a different way. It looks like a big political building. Washington D.C. is the capital of the United States, holds a lot of government buildings, and this, to the untrained eye, if you weren't looking in from above, if you were just on street level looking up, you would think this is just a really cool looking government building. So I think it kind of fits. And then the archway to enter is really cool as well. That's a really cool entrance to where you feel like you really about to go somewhere, especially since it's kind of dark. You're like, oh man, this is like a real entrance right here. It's about to get serious. We're going to war for real type of thing. And I just like how, even just the way it's designed with all of the windows, is going to be plenty of light if you're like in the lobbies and stuff like that. But you can tell that, that won't actually touch the field because you have all of the seats and people in the way for that. But again, no retractable roof, but I love the aesthetic of the design. If you took this and put a retractable roof on it somehow, I think that would actually be pretty cool. I really love the entrance. That entrance, I don't think that's very realistic. I don't think we would ever do anything like that, but that entrance looks really cool to me, man. That's pretty fine. And of course, just looking around the landscape around it, it's just never, just like the previous concepts that we just looked at a couple of minutes ago, anything with all of this housing around it, all of these buildings around it, it's not going to necessarily be that realistic. You're going to need anything in the view of this picture to pretty much be parking until you start to get the foggy areas in the back. Anything around, immediately around the stadium, has to be parking, dog. The parking has to be ridiculous. It has to be even better than what we currently have at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. I'm telling you right now, parking is getting in and out is gonna be terrible if they leave it like this. I don't even see parking in this AI represented design. Moving on. Now, of course, this design with the monument just right next to the stadium, that's not gonna happen. We're not about to just plop the stadium right next to the monument and just take over all of that space. Like, that just would never happen. But I think it's a really cool thing. Maybe they build a clone monument next, like, instead of just go somewhere else, DC, Maryland, Virginia, wherever you end up going, and then just build like little prop monuments. It's gonna be that big, probably. That'd be pretty cool if it's like a really big one too, but just something sturdy to where it wouldn't fall, but it's not the real monument. You're not bringing the stadium to the monument. You're bringing a false copy monument to the stadium. I think that would be a pretty cool concept to make it really DC and stuff like that. And then now, to go ahead and get this out the way, it looks like there's land around this one, so maybe there is space for parking, even though this AI design did not actually depict any parking. Again, all of these designs just completely neglect where are people gonna park to get to this game. I think that's funny. Again, another non-retractable roof one, but it's a really good looking design though. Another government building kind of looking one again. Just the way it's presented, it looks very political, very DC like and stuff like that. I think it's a really, literally outside of not having a retractable roof, this is a really cool design. It's nothing too far. It's not even too conservative. It's like a good middle of like, you know, they're taking chances, they're getting creative in certain ways. But you're gonna see some of these designs coming up where it's just like, nah, there's no way. This is realistic. This is a really cool AI generated design that's actually pretty realistic. Again, if we're ignoring that monument there, I'm just assuming they brought the monument to the stadium, a fake one, not bring the stadium right next to the monument like that. They would never just uproot everything to achieve that. But I think it's a really cool design. No, I would love if they found a way to do something like that, just to make the stadium area just a little bit more DC feeling. Because even if it ends up in Maryland or Virginia, bring some DC to that. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever you got to do to make it look as DC as possible. If you have to have fake government buildings, fake DC landmarks and things around the stadium, I'm cool with that. Even if it's not as big as the normal, like the monument doesn't have to necessarily be that big, but if it's like a little small miniature one, like to the back of the stadium that you see towards the middle of the picture, I would be really cool with that. I think they should definitely dive into that. I highly doubt they do. I don't think they will prioritize that, and that will cost a lot of money to actually like pay for and stuff like that. But I would love it as a fan, even though it's not very realistic, for them to do whatever they can to bring as much DC to the stadium, no matter where the stadium ends up being. Because of course, everybody wants it to be in DC. Josh Harris has already expressed that he wants it in DC. Shine, all of those guys, everybody seems like they want it in DC. Most of the fans, when you do polls, it's not like a unanimous decision, but usually most of the answers lead to the fan base in general mostly wanting it in DC. So a lot of people, and I would love for it to be in DC as well, but if I had to put money on it, I would bet on the field. I would bet against DC. If it's DC or the field, I would pick the field just off of I don't know how that DC thing is going to work. They got to work through a lot of laws and zoning situations. They got certain things zoned for certain things. They're working on it. They're doing everything that they can to get over it. And even the DC, a lot of DC legislation really want the stadium to go to DC now that Dan Snyder's gone, so they're even helping on their end as well. So we'll see. But if I had to put like my life savings on it, I would bet the field. But I would hope it goes to DC. But back to my main point, that if it ends up not being in DC, I hope they bring DC with them, is my main point. All right, next concept. Now we're starting to get to the weird stuff. Now we're getting to the AI designs where people are having fun. I don't know whose AI this is, but their AI is a little bit more creative than the other AIs that we looked at so far. Their AIs are a little bit more childish and imaginative, but just to look at this, I think it's a really cool concept. Ignoring all of the spaceships and stuff around, if we were to do a full dive rebrand into like full-blown commanders, and instead of it being like military, is more so like a warrior thing, like a Roman warrior Coliseum atmosphere type of thing, that would be pretty cool. Y'all know I'm still big Red Wolves. I'm still team Red Wolves and all of that. I just highly doubt that happens. I've already let go of that years ago, honestly. And I think doing a full dive into like a commander's aesthetic, a full Roman warrior type of thing aesthetic, I think that would be pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. Years ago, I probably didn't like it that much, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm seeing the AI designs. They're missing some gold in here, and the burgundy is not dark enough. But I think this is a pretty cool design. And then that little part in the middle, where I don't know what section of the stadium that is, but that's really interesting, and I'm pretty sure people will be fighting over those seats, because that's just a really interesting section to be in. I think it's not very realistic though, because that takes away seats, which means less money for Josh Harris and company to make every game, because there's less seats available. You have all those interesting structures to the left and the right of that area in the middle and stuff. But I love that big flag coming down, but at the same time, that's not practical, because that flag is in the way of a few people trying to watch the game. But it's just so many really cool creative concepts that I actually really like. But I mean, we're even missing a goalpost in this design. Like, the AI didn't even think to put goalpost in here. It's not even a full 100-yard field either. It's a really weird concept design, but there's a lot of fun aspects to it that I do hope we would at least take into consideration. But this is extremely unrealistic for a lot of reasons. It's kind of cool. It has nothing to do with the stadium, but how all the fans are just all in complete unison in wearing the same exact headgear to represent the stadium. Now, I don't think it would take us a very long time to ever achieve a home field advantage like this, but that would also be really cool too. By the time we get to this next stadium, which will probably be done by like 2027 at probably the soonest, Hopefully by then, from 2024 on, we've been winning so much, we're playoff contenders. Hopefully even at best we're Super Bowl contenders, and then we actually do have a home field advantage. That would be lovely. But I highly doubt it'll be to this level. I mean, nobody can achieve this. Even the Eagles in Philadelphia can't achieve a home field advantage this like 100%, 99% looking. But still though, I really hope, just looking at the fans in the stadium, that just sparked the idea that I hope that we can become a more home field advantage type environment, because I don't think y'all understand how much that helps our team. When we dominate a stadium and we're able to make noise when the other team has the football, they're not able to get their plays together, make changes, audibles and stuff like that. They're getting false starts, they're getting delay of games. The fans can truly affect the game, man. Just like they call the fans the 12th man on the field in Seattle, man, that's a real thing. So I'm hoping that, by the time we get that new stadium going, we can have a similar home field advantage. And then you have this really interesting concept. I'm not even exactly sure what this has to do with DC. I mean, I see it's by the water. That's all I got you. But outside of that, this looks like some dystopian after Armageddon, after the zombie apocalypse type of stadium, like this thing. But I like the fact that it is very DC, is very city-like, it's next to the water, so they're probably doing a play on like the Navy and the military and stuff like that. That's pretty DC. But outside of that, man, they got really frisky with this. Like they just had fun. But hey, man, I'm not gonna lie, looking at that environment in the stadium, it looks fun. I ain't gonna lie, that environment in the stadium looks really fun. That looks so fun, man. It looks like everybody that matters is there. Everybody who's there is supposed to be there. It looks like a Super Bowl level environment in there, and it looks like this may have a retractable roof in it. Right now it's open, you never know, maybe that's retractable, I don't know. So I'm really feeling that style right there. The stadium on the outside looks like some type of Star Wars spaceship though, which is really interesting in itself. And then the structures on the outside also look a little Star Wars, like people on Tatooine or something like that. I don't know, it's a really frisky concept. Nothing to really take from this other than the fact that, hey, this may be the first design that actually has somewhat of a retractable roof, and it's next to the water, so maybe just because it's DC, they try to do a play on water, because I know DMV is known for their seafood and stuff like that. And then they got like little, it's really futuristic cyberpunk type of military, but it looks like some type of military stuff going on. Look like some Star Wars level military stuff, but it's a play on military. But I don't know, that it's something about the way they designed this, that it looks like that environment in the stadium is like, you can't miss it. You can't miss it for nothing. You got to go to every game in an environment like that. Now moving on to the more realistic options. Now getting away from the AI generated stuff that like just random fans made. Now we're looking at a lot of the concepts that the Commanders themselves put out there. I don't remember exactly who it was, like Jason Wright or somebody from the Commanders social media team. But these are pretty interesting concepts, especially the one where you're looking at with the moon, and then they have like a concert. They're trying to make the area basically around it very fun in itself. Like, it's not just a stadium, it's an entertainment hub around the stadium as well. Now I don't know how all of that would fit in the RFK site land space, so if you want something like this, it's more than likely gonna have to go somewhere like Virginia that has a little bit more space to utilize and do stuff like this. But it just looks like there's all kinds of industry, all kinds of commercial stores and just fun stuff. They got like, it looked like they got some WeWorks in there, they got some all kinds of stuff. They have some really interesting shopping center areas, some marketplaces around the stadium. This looks like almost a dream, man. This looks really fun. And then the stadium itself being like that weird transparent type of thing, I think that's really cool and creative, because as you can see in a couple of the pictures, at night it goes from white to like white glossy transparent to like they can change the whole stadium to be in burgundy itself with some interesting LED light design. I don't know exactly how this would go. They're actually showing this being near the Prince George's County Interstate 95 right off of it, so I don't know how that parking would necessarily go, but this one depicts parking and all of the different concepts. You have the practice field you see in a couple of pictures. It's a different building where this is like the Commanders facilities where they practice and stuff. They have the outside field and the inside field. This is a really cool concept, man. This came out like before Josh Harris even bought the team, so who knows if this is even still in the running or if this is anything they're considering. I think it's a really cool concept though. I really like all of the pictures. I think this would be very fun, even just like in the picture where the players are practicing, just how all of the fans can there's just like a whole row of seating and stairs that it's just so much space for so many people to watch and take part in it. I think it's a really cool concept. This is like a utopia type of design, the complete opposite of dystopia from the other stuff. Now this design here, I'm not sure if it's separate or not from the previous designs that we just looked at that were packaged together. This one I found somewhere separately, but this is a pretty cool design for a stadium as well. Again, it has that whole see-through thing, and I think at this time it's gold, so maybe it's white during the middle of the day, gold like evening, and then it's like burgundy at night or something like that. Maybe that's and I love that idea. That would be extremely expensive. I'm pretty sure Josh Harris would not feel like spending that much money on something that's not that serious. But as a fan, oh my lord, the entire stadium changing colors like that would be amazing. How it's transparent and everything. I love the design too. It's a really creative, interesting new design. I'm really a big fan of that. And then lastly, this is a very interesting design because you have the stadium to the left, which looks fantastic. I mean, you don't see the overall stadium, but I like the way it looks on the side. You have the Washington all big. You see when the Redskins were technically made all the way back in the early 1900s and stuff like that. You have the practice field and the facilities all right there, because you know right now we play in Maryland and we practice in Virginia. Like the difference in distance is wild. Like as far as being a Commanders player and coach, as far as choosing where you live can't be fun. Cause like, I mean, I guess you gotta live in Virginia because you're gonna practice more than you play. But at the same time, going to a game, you're struggling with traffic just like we do, even though I'm pretty sure they go way earlier to make sure they avoid traffic and stuff. I don't exactly know how it works. Maybe there's like a team bus that does it. I don't know. I'm ignorant to the situation. But either way, that's not very convenient. Imagine if the stadium and the practice field and all of the facilities, everything you need, where we are for training camp, all of that is in one big lot. Like one area confined to each other. And then just there's even in between, I don't know what that is. Maybe it's some shops or buildings, but that looks really nice and well lit. This looks just as fun as like the Superstar KO environment. You have like this practice field here for the fans to do things. You have the tents outside. People are having picnics. There's areas to sit around and chill. You got the playground for the kids that's burgundy and gold design. I love this concept. Please, Josh Harris, I'm begging you. No matter what the stadium looks like, and I have my preferences for that as well, and you know the environment, I would love it if near the stadium, really close to it, first of all, the practice facilities is in the same place as the stadiums. That's great for the players, the coaching staff, all of that type of stuff. But for the fans to have a playground like this, if you truly want to turn this to an entertainment hub, make sure you have some type of shops, stores, and an area, a playground like that for the kids, a football field for them to do random fan drill things like that. They can like feel like they're football players, all that type of stuff. I think this is a fantastic idea. We need to combine a lot of these concepts into one big concept. If I can figure out how to use some AI stuff, I may try to come up with my own design later on. Stay tuned for that. If I can figure that out, I will do a whole nother video on just that alone and basically take all of my favorite pieces from all these other designs we've looked at throughout this video and put it into one crisp, perfect Washington Commanders stadium. And not just the stadium, but the area around it matters as well to me too. So I would put all of that together. So don't let me figure out how to get that going, man. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please stiff arm that like button if you had fun. Stiff arm the subscription button if you want more videos like this. And make sure you stiff arm the bell next to the subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release these fun videos. Because even though the season feels pretty destitute and all of that, we still have a lot of optimism to look forward to, like Eugene Shin, that whole video, I broke that down. We have the draft to look forward to. We have probably gonna end up with like $100 million in cap space to look forward to. And then also we have a lot of fun things to look forward to, like our potential next stadium. Maybe Josh Harris wants to do a rebrand or anything like that. We have so many things to dive into and to talk about, to where it's literally no reason for me not to be making a video every day, because there's always something to talk about and have fun discussing and debating and all of that stuff. So let me know in the comment section how you felt about all of the designs. Let me know which one was your favorite and what pieces about your favorites made it your favorite, and the ones you hated the most, why you hated it the most. If you had to design not only a stadium but the area around the stadium as well, how would you design and all that type of stuff? Let me know, man, because I think this is really fun. So I'm gonna do my best to try to read and reply to every comment I see, because this is a really fun thing, man. I'm really excited about this. It's got me a little excited about 2027 and beyond, and what the new stadium may end up looking like. So again, let me know, and make sure you support the channel any way that you can. Now that YouTube is no longer tripping, we're back full power. You can become a channel member for exclusive videos. I'm working on that for those of y'all that are channel members. I'm about to definitely get y'all some exclusive videos videos that only y'all have access to. Also, you can donate through Super Chat directly through YouTube, or if you want to donate through CashApp and PayPal like we've had to do for the past couple of months, you can still do that as well. But remember, liking these videos and liking all the streams are all free, so at the very least, make sure you do that on the way out. And without further ado, man, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Appreciate y'all. I'm out, man.